Hey guys, Credenda here, and I'm just going to discuss a question that I've been recently getting asked due to the lethality buffs, and that is, should I be running lethality in my runes? And there's a couple of reasons for why not, and I'll share this with you guys right now. So, if we just look at Jayce's AD ratios, they're insane. 120% bonus AD on his Q both in melee and range form, as well as 100% bonus AD ratio on his Thundering Blow, and then the 25% bonus AD ratio on his R, which admittedly did get nerfed, but just looking at these AD ratios, you can see that he scales a lot better with AD than he does with lethality, at least in terms of like AP ratios and scaling. So what this means is more AD obviously means more damage. And then some of you may be saying, well then why about lethality? Why doesn't lethality, due to its buff, deal more damage regardless of the ratios and everything? And that's because when we're talking about runes, we typically want to talk about what gives you the biggest early game increase in damage. Because runes, at least in my view, and at least the way the game, or I play the game, is that runes and masteries are primarily for early game. And lethality really isn't an early game statistic, because even though it got increased from 40% to 60% scaling, where it starts scaling at 60% rather than 40%, it still isn't as good as running flat AD. And you can just see this in previous patches when lethality wasn't even a thing and armor pen was a thing. You never ran armor pen on Jayce because his AD ratios were just so good. And having that early game auto attack damage, that early game ability damage, really outshines lethality in pretty much every sense. Additionally, you're already getting a lot of early game lethality from Precision Mastery. You get 8.5 lethality. Which is about, like, it's over half of what you'd get from runes anyway. So stacking that on to something that only scales up fully at level 11 just isn't the most efficient option for Jayce in terms of runes right now. And that's just the way I play it. This is still the standard rune page I'm running on Jayce, where I take scaling health, flat AD, marks, and quints, and then 6 CDR scaling to get 10% CDR, so you can get 40% CDR with Black Cleaver and Ghostblade, and 3 magic resist glyphs. That's what I run. That's what I still run despite the lethality buffs. If you guys have a different opinion or some numbers that you guys can give me saying the contrary, be sure to leave it down in the comments. And I'd love to find the best way to build Jayce, but at the current moment, I just think AD runes are still far superior than lethality runes. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.